Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2-2 Grand Final. It's been 5 days or so with exquisite 2-2 gameplay and some exquisite 2-2 broadcast partners. And since season 14, he's been by my side. He's not leaving anymore. Good day, Monk.
Hello, hello. Really excited to be casting not only with you, Neo, but with my very good friend Dark, who is somehow come in to become the 5th Phantom Aces player in this grand finals.
As if there weren't enough of us here already, Monka.
I mean, you started with 4 teams. You as the team manager of the Phantom Aces, are you disappointed that you couldn't fill the entire semifinal?
I can only blame myself for that, Neo. So no comment. Next question.
Right. You are definitely qualified to join us in this broadcast, though, because you're one of the most active 2-2 players there is in this world.
Yep, we try. Less active recently, but hopefully back there soon with Reaver's connectivity issues.
So 2 of your teams are facing each other in the grand final here. Who would you give the edge to?
I think it's one of those that unfortunately just the depth of experience here is a bit different as a team. So I think the edge goes to KraV and Starbuck, but I think PaTo and Scars have proved already in their last few games and some ladder that we played against them that they are very capable of taking maps here. All I would say is that I think diversity-wise, Bucky and KraV have many more tricks up their sleeve through accumulated hours of practice that they can pull out in these games.
And the first
Dark.
Surprise. Yeah,
Dark,
go ahead.
I have a question for you, Dark. As Phantom Aces, a world-renowned Warcraft 3 team, do you guys practice a lot of 2v2s in-house? You guys have like so many like high-level 2v2 teams on your team.
We do when we can is the answer to that. Not as much as we probably should, but I think timing and the location of all of our players makes that slightly challenging. So I'd say the European guys do. Phalo, myself, KraV, Starbuck, and Scars all have been known to get in custom games, but I think the international players, when the time zones go all the way from Asia with Lawliot to obviously the US with PaTo and Insup, it's more difficult than you would think. But yes, we do where we can.
So you said Starbuck and KraV have a few tricks up their sleeve, and so far this tournament they've been playing random undead, then orc undead, and now they're back to random undead. That's the first little curveball that I didn't expect.
I think when you've played as many games as those two have, they have a plan for every matchup when Starbuck plays random. So I think it probably causes their opponent more issues than it does them. As we all know, Starbuck's obviously equally competent almost with every race. So, I like that choice. I think it'll make it very, very hard for Scars and PaTo to predict what's coming.
All right, I will show you what's coming. It is a dual cast of Monk and Dark to open up this best of 5 grand final. PaTo and Scars going in as the underdogs versus Starbuck and KraV. Have fun, boys.
Would you like to kick it off, Monk?
All right, let's do it. In the top left, randoming as a Night Elf player, we have a lot of Night Elves in this game. We have Starbuck and his ally, KraV, as always, going with a DK and Crypt opening in the bottom left. In the bottom right, we have PaTo, another Night Elf player, going surprisingly Keeper instead of Demon Hunter first. And in the top right, we have Scars going with a Blade Master. All right, Dark, what are you seeing in the cast so far?
Yeah, interesting. I was half expecting hunts and headhunters from PaTo and Scars. But again, I think that's the element of random. You can get hard countered with certain race combinations. So, it looks like we see a Blade Keeper opening, two Burrow from Scars, which means he's going to do the safe 2 Grunt. Harassing Starbuck's creeping, but very hard to get anything done against that Merc camp. And it looks like KraV's going aggressive here against PaTo's hunt build. And that might be an Ancient of War cancel already, Monk.
Yeah, Ancient of War death from Starbuck as well. Scars and PaTo are doing a lot of damage to this Demon Hunter, who is out of mana, unable to burn this Keeper of the Grove. Meanwhile, we have what is this? A tower rush from KraV. Oh my god. That's so strong. There's no Ancient of War from PaTo even. I guess one is building up right now. So there's really no defense. Are we who's gonna like
I mean,
kind of
Scar sold
like
his TP here,
retreat?
Monk.
Yeah. A lot of people sold their TP. KraV doesn't have a TP. Oh man, is this the dreaded undead tower rush that we hear so many night elves complaining about recently?
It is, and this is a pure base trade, I think, at this point. It's who can get more damage done to the opponent. PaTo has no way of producing units at this point. There's an Ancient of War coming up that KraV's just seen. But I think they're in big trouble here early, because Starbuck is got fullish Moonwells, second Ancient of War coming up, and is doing a very good job of holding this pressure.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job, especially of like just running around and getting chased by all these units that are not outputting any DPS. And KraV even retreats with some of his ghouls, brings some ghouls over. So he's really pulling double duty, not only tower rushing his opponents, but also defending the pressure from Scars and PaTo.
And this is these off-meta weird games that really where Starbuck and KraV shine even more than the straight up, you know, build a 50 supply army and have team fights. These are the games where it gets weird, where these guys really shine. So I think this might be a very fast game one, Monk, unless we see something crazy here in terms of the ability to do some damage to Starbuck's base.
Yeah, we have so many Moonwells. We even like Starbuck even feels confident enough to tech to tier 2 at this point. Scars feels like he has to retreat. The Voodoo Lodge is now proxied. It's back at Scars base. So once this pressure lets off, I think it's going to be a while before Scars and PaTo can go in for round 2 yet again.
Meanwhile, KraV level 2 and the Tree of Life is being pressured very hard. PaTo's hard wood stuck. First Ancient of War is just about to go up in Scar's base, but I think this is there's no way of saving the tree, Monk.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 1-on-2, and the units that Scars will have to work with are just grunts who are like pretty good in straight up fights, but you know they're not going to win any awards for when you're fighting like 2 armies.
And if I know KraV here, there's an expert coming behind this with some wood from Starbuck, would be my guess.
So it's going to be a 3 base versus 1 base situation. Is that we're going to see?
It looks like it, with grunts against tier 2 elf and attacking undead.
All right, this is going to be a final push. Possibly we have Scars. His Blade Master is actually a little stuck, but who's stuck with whom? Starbuck is kind of backed into a little corner. He has a TP. If he needs to run out. KraV, meanwhile, he says, hey, I finished this Tree of Life. I'm going to come back. He doesn't have a TP, so it's going to be a long trek back diagonally across the map.
I think, though, although this isn't a fight that Scars and PaTo want, they have no choice. That Bucky just did such a good job delaying the pressure that with those cancels of the production buildings for PaTo, that they're in a, you know, dragging this game out is a even more no-win situation than this push. So I think this is the best of a bunch of bad options right now for them.
Yeah, Demon Hunter actually gets out. Scars' grunt slightly blocked PaTo.
Demon Hunter running around on 15 HP.
Oh, he turns around. Oh, grunt. Scars is also controlling the grunt to try to hit the Demon Hunter. And an entangle.
Yeah,
oh, Starbucks buys a transport ship. Oh my god. I've actually never seen this ship in like a professional game before. But that was a cool opportunity to almost try to save this the Demon Hunter.
Yeah, good wherewithal to think about the ship. I forgot they even existed, to be totally honest. Very rare that you see one used.
I think PaTo is even element. Oh my
He's
god, a ship
with
block?
the ship.
He's blocking with the ship. The ship can't even go on land.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, that's not something you see every day.
Oh, dodge with the ship as well. This ship is in ballast. Oh my god. You can ensnare the ship as well. Yeah. So I believe you can't
You cannot.
unload. And do they get dizziness? Okay, there's no dizziness when a ship is destroyed.
Good
So
to
these
know.
are all things that I know. I learned about the ship. I don't know about you, Dark, but
Exactly the same, Monk. I think 90% of the viewership here would have just learned that you don't get the same effect from a Zep with a ship.
yeah. Shadowhunter goes down. We have double Wind Riders. Oh, we have a surround on the Death Knight as well. At level 3, oh no, the worst time to level up. And actually, PaTo and Scars are actually making some things happen.
They absolutely are. I think they're doing a lot with a very limited supply of options here. Although, if you look at the bottom right, KraV hasn't saturated it yet, but has that expo.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 3 base versus 1 base scenario. We have 2 Ancient Protectors going up for Starbuck, who is going to face relentless pressure. Although he doesn't really have the ability to produce too many units right now. I guess he has an Ancient of War, he has the Mercamp. Second Ancient Protector taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think this is almost a game at this point of how long can Starbuck turtle for while KraV gets to something that can fight. There's proxy laws which we missed, Monk, in KraV space. Starbuck with 2 proxy Ancient of Laws for Dryads.
Yeah, the Dryads are going to do pretty okay versus the Wyvern.
Again, I think this is just a game of buying time. KraV's producing Gargs. So the combination of slow poison and gargoyles are gonna deal with those Wind Riders pretty effectively, and that is almost all of the DPS really for PaTo and Scars here.
Yeah, Scars' Wind Riders aren't really doing too much damage. They're hitting the Wind Riders a bit. Actually, a bunch of Dryads are going to go down. And the older Mauler is also going to go down, probably. At the cost of a Wind Rider that I don't think needed to be traded necessarily. But yeah, these are just little small victories for Scars, but at the end of the day, there's going to be 250 supply armies coming soon.
Yeah, it feels like they've done very well with the position they had, but I feel like they need to do game-ending damage to make this game winnable. Blade goes down.
Lich is going to probably go down. Do we have the Shadowhunter going down as well? Not quite. Oh, the Shadowhunter turns around, and that's going to be the GG from PaTo.
Well, a fast and efficient game 1, and I think the very strange sell your TP, run straight to PaTo space to cancel the hunts couldn't have been better time there from KraV. A great read from Starbuck and KraV, and brings up a fast 1-0.
Exactly. The favorites prevail for now, but what a great game this was. Classic aggression. That's also what we've seen in the first semifinal. Aggression seems to be the new meta in 2-on-2, and then KraV just doubles down on that with a tower push. Starbuck, the Slovenian wall holds, and PaTo with a defense of the Brazilian national team in 2014. But seeing the ship, dude, just warms my heart. Monk, we have ships in Stormgate confirmed?
We'll see. But one thing I realized about the ships is I was actually working on I was helping out with Warcraft 3 back at Blizzard when we decided to introduce that map into the map pool. And this is like it comes around full circle. That's the first time I saw a ship used. So ship imbalanced, man.
Ship imbalanced. Unfortunately, that is I think the only map with ships.
It is the only map with ships, and honestly, the amount of ladder games on that ship, I'd love to know the percentage of ladder games where a ship was purchased. That was almost a crazy Demon Hunter save. Ship blocks. We saw a ship dying. Does anyone know how much the ship costs, out of interest?
I have no clue.
Chat will tell
same
us.
As a Zeppelin. Chat, do we know?
Well, chat will figure it out, and we'll report on the ship cost in a little bit, and I will report that I'll be casting the next game because this 2-on-2 seems like a lot of fun, and I'm grabbing Monk. for the 2-2 game 2. Not match points. 1-0 lead for the favorites, but can PaTo and Scars fight back? What's your last prediction, Dark?
I'm hoping for a 1-1. So I'm going to go for 1-1. PaTo and Scars pull it out.
Would you agree, Monk?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the exciting play where it gets tied up and we get even more games. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's what we're hoping for. Of course, we have a best of 5 in this grand final after an entire tournament of best of 3s. But you know, a grand final just has to be a best of 5 at the very least. In the bottom left-hand side, we got the team being down a map. PaTo on the left-hand side, Scars on the right-hand side, going for some headhunters. And man, the random dice is pretty one-sided today. It's once again Night Elf Undead for Starbuck and KraV.
Well, I think Warcraft realizes, hey, today's going to be a Night Elf day. We have 2 Night Elf players in the Grand Finals. And of course, we're going to also have always 2 Night Elf players in the 2v2 Grand Finals as well.
And we also had 2 Night Elves in the FFA Grand Final. One of them actually winning. It's the Weekend of Elves.
Yeah, KraV, we have actually a Lich opening from KraV, so that's like a really interesting deviation. I'm wondering if he's going to go for an expansion there. One thing I realized in the last game actually is that, and not only in the last game, but in the last series, is that against Razormoon and Dice, he bought a Sacrificial Skull, but didn't use it against Dice and Razormoon in their series. But I now see that he bought the Sacrificial Skull because it was kind of like a reaction where he potentially could tower rush a Night Elf player if they're out of their base. But it's just the opportunity to tower rush is what the Sacrificial Skull's for, and you don't have to necessarily use it. So I think this is like a very, like the DK Ghoul opening where they rush the Night Elf is a very planned opening with a lot of deviations that KraV and Starbuck have practiced for and that I've never seen before in 2v2.
Yeah, very creative minds, and of course they studied the replays and knew exactly what was coming to them. This time it's going to be a little bit different as PaTo and Scars are going back to what won them the quarterfinal, and that is Potom and TC and a lot of stuff.
Yeah, this is going to be a mass game from the 2 players. Starbuck, I think he was trying to potentially creep the Rock Golem camp with the Merc camp, but he realizes that there's going to be a harassing Potom, so that's not going to be something easy for him to creep for quite a while.
Instead of tower pushing, this time for KraV we got a Lich opener and an expansion behind this as the strat of Scars and PaTo, of course, if you want mass units, that requires mass time. And the time will be filled with Starbuck KraV and KraV expanding, and that should work out fine.
Yeah, I love this push from Starbuck where he's just pushing the Ancient of War from PaTo, or the second Ancient of War for PaTo. I don't think that's something that like any player will do, but Starbuck just knows these 2v2 timings. He knows, oh, if I just push with my Demon Hunter now, I can maybe cancel that Ancient War, which will be huge. Especially because there's no Keeper, there's going to be not very much pressure from PaTo as a Night Elf player going Mass Huntresses early on to the game, which should give KraV's Expo a lot of time to get set up.
I agree, and yeah, with the Potom you can try to last hit a little bit, but if the pressure is on you, not much chance to do that. In the meantime, Scars is able to creep a little bit. TC should be the carry against the mass on the other side as we have a lot of ghouls going south.
Yeah. Another deviation that I see from Starbuck, which is not common, is he actually went for 6 archers before teching to tier 2. So he's just trying to, with these early 6 archers, what it's going to give him the opportunity to do is to do this creep camp, whereas normally you wouldn't be able to do this camp so easily. And it's going to allow him to maybe even get higher levels, and especially against the one Ancient of War. We have the second Ancient of War in Scar's base, actually. Against this opening, the Hunters just won't be able to put that much pressure on.
Yeah, they are quite fragile despite having 600 HP. If a bunch of arrows rain down on you, good. Wait a minute. KraV is expanding again.
Oh, the madman. I've seen this quite a bit in the last W3Champions finals, where he just threw up expansions all over the map.
Man, yeah, he did that in one-on-one as well. That's how he defeated Chimiko once. This is not something you'd expect. In the middle, though, might turn out to be a little bit greedy as 3 ghouls fall, skeletons feed the TC as well, and Scars might have a timing here.
Yeah, Scars, the level 3 Tauren Chieftain is going to be very strong here. I actually wonder, like, would he go for the strat if he knew that Starbuck spawned as Night Elf? There is the Demon Hunter, of course. The Demon Hunter is going to be very strong against Tauren Chieftain. If he can hit level 3 before this the first push happens, that's going to be insane, denying pretty much all the War Stomps.
And there it is, exactly what you prophesized, level 3 on the DH. But if he gets stormed and surrounded, can he fight out? Needs some communication, of course, as you don't want the headhunters close to the Demon Hunter. But okay, Siege is on. This is the mass strategy, and KraV was investing a lot into economy. Let's see if that was a little bit too greedy, maybe.
Yeah, I love this base build from Starbuck. It gives him a line of Moonwells to defend against the mass huntresses. Are we going to be able to see this mass ghoul and archer army defend against hunts and headhunters? A great tier 1 fight.
Oh man, I feel like this push is already defended. The Lich is once again a weapon of mass destruction, throwing the Novas, dealing tons and tons of damage. Archers are well protected. Yeah, you can just throw this push away, I guess.
Yeah, just so many units are getting picked off, and the mass archers is really making the difference here. Something we don't typically see, but Starbuck, he knows 2-on-2 so well that he realizes, hey, I'm not going to play standard. I'm going to go this like slight deviation, and it's going to be able to hold off this push super duper easily.
Yeah, and with a lot of hunts, you might be able to deal with archers if you find the perfect position and make use of all the bouncing glaives. But there was just no chance. The positioning by KraV and Starbuck just excellent, and now it's 4 bases versus, okay, 3 at least, as there is a PaTo expansion at the 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I bet from PaTo and Scar's side, they're thinking, hey, we have equal number of bases, of course. We can just like tech up maybe, we can do some hit and runs, and we can eventually get back into the game. Off the high-level Tauren Chieftain, who, of course, unfortunately gets an Ancient Django Endurance, unfortunately very useless on the Tauren Chieftain. Maybe he can give it to his ally for more potent hit-and-run attacks, but I don't know. This is not going super well.
Not at all, nope. They tried to level for the Portamora level 2. They tried to reach tier 3 for Kodo and the Berserker upgrade, so they haven't reached their final form yet, but KraV is that rich. Teching as well. We are on the way to tier 3, and I guess Mountain Giants would be a good solution to what Scars has to offer.
Yeah, one thing that Starbuck, instead of Mountain Giants though, Starbuck has a special. If you look, he has a Zeppelin, and in the Zeppelin there are these 2 glaive throwers, which we learned in the 1v1 cast earlier today. 4 glaive throwers can actually fit into a Zeppelin, but today we only have 2 imitating tanks, and they're going to be able to siege up PaTo's base pretty well. If PaTo doesn't respond, I think this Tree of Life will actually go down pretty fast.
Oh man, this is gnarly. There's no Nature's Blessing. There's the Demon Hunter. He's trying to repair, but Archer should be able to deal with that, and this forces a town portal, takes PaTo off the map. And yeah, do you want to fight this? Okay, interesting. Starbuck, confident in his kiting ability, and PaTo so far using the hunts well.
Yeah, focusing the Zeppelin. The Zeppelin is doing some great micro, Moon-esque micro with the Zeppelin here, but it's taking a lot of damage just from the bottom and this Geomancer. The Zeppelin goes down, but a lot of units fall out before the Zeppelin goes down. Everything's just falling. All the Mercs are falling. All the Huntresses are falling. And there's really only 1 unit left for PaTo as of now. And I think he's going to need some help. This PaTo, you know, the PaTo is not very good at 1v1 fights.
No, that is absolutely correct. Great analysis. That's what you're here for, especially not against level 5 DH and level 4 Lich. PaTo is tier 1, while Starbuck is tier 3. That sounds like an unfair fight. TC comes in to the rescue, but the Demon Hunter evacuates in time. So Scars and PaTo are alive, but It's not looking good for them.
Ooh, Stray Zeppelin flies in and just immediately dies. The Tauren Chieftain is about to get hit level 5, but, you know, I don't know if you noticed, there hasn't actually been a single successful War Stomp throughout this entire game. So, first successful War Stomp at level 5, maybe?
Hopefully, it's gonna be impactful, and he needs some AoE, because if you look into KraV's base, it's Necro Wagons coming.
Ooh, Necro Wagons, the dreaded 2-on-2 strat. I'm kidding, of course, because we almost never see Necro Wagons at a high level 2-on-2. And if I were like an observer who didn't know any better, I would just think that, hey, mate, is KraV like even like trolling at this point? But Necro Wagons is actually pretty effective against the combo that we have here, because Scars is so far from AoE Dispel. We see no Tauren totems, so no ability to get walkers anytime soon. So I think when Wagons hit the field, it might just be game over.
I agree. Of course, Wisp Detonate would be a great solution to that, but against Demon Hunter and Nova, not that easy to position them well, and of course you have to be aware of the Necros to pull them. Push by PaTo towards the Haunted, but you don't even have to defend this, because of course you got a backup on the right-hand side.
Yeah, PaTo must think, oh, I'm doing pretty well here, actually getting this, going to TP and maybe save my base back home. And yeah, indeed, the base is saved, but we have a brigade of archers. Oh my god, there's so many archers coming from the back. And in this fight, Demon Hunter is importantly at 5.8 experience, so maybe just like 2 or 3 more Hunter's kills, and we're gonna see Metamorphosis. Oh, just 1 more Hunter's kill, and it's level 6. Demon Hunter immediately morphs, becomes a demon, and is able to output an insane amount of AoE damage, and immediately the tide turns and PaTo is on the back foot.
Not only PaTo, but also KraV is retreating until his Necro Wagons are up. That's a Chimera, sniped immediately. Good pickup by Scars. Shadowhunter in a little bit of trouble, forces the town portal, kills an AP that were built for safety. And it's not the greatest army, but it's a Demon Hunter level 6, so of course you gotta run.
That's so funny. This insane army from the Orc just has to run from this Demon Hunter.
So you think we should nerf that ultimate?
I think we need to buff the Tauren Chieftain.
Nice.
And buff good. Orc overall. I think that's the logical conclusion from this.
That is a very good idea, and the Orc fans in the world will thank you for it. Did you receive a little donation by Grubby by any chance recently?
Yeah, Grubby, maybe Hitman as well. But who needs donations right now is PaTo and Scars. They're still on tier 1 with the mass Huntresses, and Huntresses are really gonna fall off at this point in the game.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's worth building them. Everything counters them pretty hard, including spells and the heroes. Heal scroll available as well is what you need. PaTo with 3 of them, so I guess just feeding the Orc and using the Potom as an item carry might be the wisest choice, because starting attack now is not really worth it.
Yeah, I don't think PaTo and Scars have scouted the undead tech at all, and we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Necromancers. I don't believe. Oh, so there's also corpses in the meat wagon as well. So this might look like Starbuck is in a bit of trouble, but as soon as KraV TP's in, I think we're gonna have something along the lines of an LM AO with mass Necromancers. I don't know if you ever faced Necromancers, but I don't think this fight is going to go very swell for Scars and PaTo.
Yeah, it's not fun. Once the corpses are on the ground and turn everything into skeletons, look at this mass with like a blizzard or flame strike. Okay, there might be a chance to deal with that, but everything that dies provides new corpses, provides new mass, and there's disease cloud as well. It's just mass murder. And the DK is also alive. We got Unholy Frenzy on the Lich, and oh my god, can you go Unholy Frenzy Metamorphosis Demon Hunter? That's not good.
That would be pretty amazing.
Well,
and if we look on the bottom left, there's actually a Chimera sieging PaTo's base. PaTo actually has no way to deal with this at all, given that he has no air units. So he's actually lifting off his or uprooting his Tree of Life in order to change the armor type of the Tree of Life to hopefully survive. We have that prophesized Unholy Frenzy Demon Hunter coming down with the mass Necromancers. We have Wisp coming off the line perhaps to try to detonate.
Oh my god.
But We just still have tier 1 from PaTo. We just have a few archers. I don't think that's going to be enough, Neo.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, you're the expert, but as a caster, I learned to not call things too quickly and always look for the silver lining. So there is another base for PaTo in the middle. That's kind of okay. And we might get a storm. There we go. Finally. Can he take out the chimeras? Here is Unholy Frenzy, Metamorphosis, Demon Hunter. Good night, Headhunter. Oh my god, that's insane.
Oh wow, I didn't expect the Lich to fall down that easily, but I think that's just going to be a minor win. We actually have Tauren Chieftain level 6 from Scars, and you're not going to be able to want to focus that, which might be a bit of difficult micro. But again, in contrast, we have the level 7 Demon Hunter with Unholy Frenzy, probably level 3 Mana Burn, level 3 Evasion as well, and it's just able to solo the entire army with KraV's amazing economy. He just buys back the Lich. And I think the Tauren Chieftain is actually going to go down, come back with a few more stops, and the Demon Hunter actually only has mana for 1 more burn, and we're going to see a few more stomps, but Stomp's actually not that good if you don't have an army behind it. We have actually Starfall from PaTo, the Stomp Starfall combo. I've never thought I'd see the day.
This is actually a hold? I mean, they are down to very little supply, but they survive for now, and they survive in style, which is obviously most important. And the Starfall does, of course, very, very well against the mass, but the TC died already. Comes in with the Stomp, boom, that's the DK down. Oh, the Wagon block, after a ship block, we got a Wagon block. We got it all here in this 2-on-2.
Yeah, mechanical units are really the star of this show today. We have Necromancers, not too much energy left, not too much mana, but they're going to continue to push. We have Unholy Frenzy, of course, on the Lich. The Demon Hunter chasing down these rogue berserkers. And we actually didn't see, there's actually another base from PaTo, so it's going to, currently it is a 3 versus 5 base scenario.
Oh, PaTo!
Oh my god, we actually have a War Stomp surround onto the Demon Hunter, but I think Scarves realizes he can't hold it. Priestess of the Moon goes down. There's action happening all over the map.
It's crazy. PaTo's base has been wiped out, but he has 2 more. Well, 1 more, because Wagons just destroyed this Tree of Life. Demon Hunter level 8. This is nuts. But KraV is back at 73. Didn't he just lose his entire army?
Yeah, but you know, if you lose your entire army, you still have 3 bases behind it. And you're not only going Necromancers, you're going Abominations as well.
And Unholy Frenzy Chimeras. All the counters, all the wins. Dark, is this the Sunday roast you were talking about 2 weeks ago?
My lord, Neo. That is peak Starbuck and KraV.
I got an echo from your side, but yeah, you're right, man, you're right.
Hopefully the echo's gone. No idea where that's occurring. Yeah, that is Starbuck and KraV 101. Double Expo from KraV, Necro Wagon, Chimera, Unholy Frenzy on a level 6 Demon Hunter.
The echo is actually still there. I don't know what you're doing. Doop. You'll fix it, I'm sure. My god, 2-0, rather quickly, rather one-sided, but still highly entertaining, Wonk.
Yeah, I think that game perfectly demonstrated the strength of Starbuck and KraV. And I think the key difference there was the ability for Starbuck to realize what the opponent was doing, the strategy that was occurring with the Mass Huntress, Mass Berserker, and to able to adapt to that strategy by kind of abandoning the initial plan of potentially creeping the Merc camp with his Demon Hunter, and instead going for the Mass Archers, pressuring the first Ancient of War, and then following that up with a Mass Archer strat before teching to tier 2 and holding off that initial push so easily that it seemed like that kind of strategy was not viable at all.
And I feel like I'd need to see the replay. Hopefully the echo's now gone, by the way.
Yes.
But I feel like having to view the replay, I'd have to see. But what they do better than anybody else is trade resources, and there would have been an awful lot of wood going back and forth at the start of that game to allow KraV to double expand. And it's just really impressive to watch. Really good 2-on-2, I feel like just totally unexpected from Scars and PaTo, who double expands at the start with ghouls. KraV is the answer.
That's correct. So if you're in PaTo and Scars' shoes, you try to harass early on, you try to mass early on. So what's left in the playbook, coach?
I feel like countering that on that map, because it is so large, is a real challenge. First, you've got to know he's doing it, I think, is the first call. And I think one of you nailed it, Neo. I think it was you and Cast. The little adaptations that Starbuck made to the base with the extra moonwells and the positioning where he could just get some sanctuary from all the hunts was I think the difference in holding that push so easily.
I guess it was Monk, but thank you anyway. I take it. We got the next map coming up. KraV needs a little break to take care of his kid. So, Dark, why don't you tell people why 2-on-2 is so amazing and that we need more 2-on-2 players on the ladder?
I think there's many reasons for that, Neo. But variety of strategies, the ability to play with your friends and teammates and communicate. And I think 2-on-2 opens a bunch of doors that, for units and hero combinations like we just saw in the last game, perfect demonstration that you wouldn't see generally in a one-on-one. And you know, for the social out there and amongst us, it's a really fun, sociable game mode played with the right people that still requires a higher degree of skill possibly than something like 4v4.
Well, I guess cleaning the kitchen doesn't require more skills than 4-on-4, but still, no disrespect, of course. Even if you don't have a friend available, you can also play random team, of course, to get paired with another random team player. A little bit rougher, as you might not communicate as good as people in voice. But yeah, great game mode, and would be amazing to see more activity in this game mode.
I also have to echo what Dark said. The sheer diversity of strats that can happen in 2-on-2 is really amazing. And I think this grand final, or not even just the grand final, but the tournament overall, we actually saw like every series showcase a different variety of strats. Actually, I think 2v2 probably isn't as diverse as this tournament has shown it to be. I think once you get the high level players playing it, you just have a lot more creative strategies. You have things that try to catch opponents off guard in a tournament setting as well. Typically, I think in 2v2 we have a little bit more of, you know, you go up to 50 food, you have a great 50 food army. The armies can diverge a bit, and they can be very different from one another, but you don't have this like crazy expanding, crazy like mass archers, just like these crazy different hero combinations. That's not how I typically play it, but it's great to see, great to adapt to what all the crazy things my opponents can do.
All right, we got the game starting. It's one of our favorite maps. It's Shattered Exile, and it is the world first cast of me and Dark.
Really excited to be here, Neo.
Yeah,
We have a join bug.
No join bugs on W3Champions. Come on, are you kidding me? Yeah, very familiar bedroom that you're in. I had the pleasure to stay there for 4 days recently. Thanks again for that, and thanks for supporting us. So, did you send some whispers to Scars and PaTo to prolong your time on the broadcast here, maybe?
I think if I did that, I would be shot internally by the other team. So. No, just here as an interested observer, I think the difficulty for them is understanding what Starbuck randoms. But apparently it's not so random. I've just realised that he has spawned Night Elf, Neo. So we have the same matchup for the third go around.
Dude, what are the odds? Are you good at math? I don't know.
Not good enough. We need Toxie for that one.
I guess so.
But it's massive, would be my guess.
Yeah, we didn't pay attention in high school. So, yeah, no adaptations needed, but I guess they do have some differing style. It is possible to expand twice here on Shattered Exile, but it's probably a little more risky than on King and Country.
Yeah, that really would be something if KraV tried to double expand on this map, as he would have to do it offensively towards Scars. I would expect that perhaps KraV plays a little bit more aggressively on this map, would be my guess.
So rather similar to game 1 than to game 2. On the opposite side of Scars and PaTo, we got a Blade Master Grunt Opener and Keeper KraV on PaTo's side.
Yeah, and again, a Demon Hunter and Death Knight opening from KraV. So much more standard, I think, this game. And if this goes into a more traditional tier 2 kind of game, I think this is, from an opening perspective, possibly the best chance so far for PaTo and Scars.
Of course, they have to win the fights then as well, but there's no craziness unfolding at the moment. With the Blade Master, you should be able to knock down a potential Acolyte for a tower push as well. But will the DK Ghoul push maybe be a problem for Scars early on?
I think it could be. I think KraV's, if KraV plays aggressive, he has the habit of creeping a very fast 2, sometimes 3, which I'm guessing will probably involve the Merc camp at the top or one of the shops, and then pushing possibly for wisps into PaTo's base. Scar's obviously expecting the expansion play here, but again, out of luck. So bit of a more even opening, I would say, for game 3.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, you and Reaver, you're self-proclaimed one of the greatest 2-2 teams in the world. So how's your track record versus Starbuck and KraV?
It's brutal, Neo. Watching these games, I have to say, is PTSD for me, and I'm sure it is for Reaver if he's watching. Like most of the 2-on-2 community, playing against these guys because of the random nature of the games and the diversity of strats is a real challenge. And for some of the viewers, I see some of the comments about it being one-sided. I can't overstate the complexity of playing against these two. Not only are they both very, very, very good 1v1 players, they have a kind of almost telepathic communication. For those that don't know, they very rarely, if ever, voice chat because of KraV's home situation with kids and stuff. So this is all done with one-word comments and pings, which for me makes it even more impressive.
Yeah, it is. Feels like Starbuck and KraV are a little bit the happy of the 2-2 scene. The first pressure has been defended. A little bit of trouble for Starbuck to keep the DH alive, but if you have Moonwells, you have a good shot of saving these heroes. But yeah, probably the most even early game we've had.
For sure, and Starbuck prioritizing the Merc camp and the Imba Assassin, which gives a massive advantage, especially against the Huntress play that PaTo's using. That poison is absolutely vital.
Ironically, it is. So I guess we got the techs. Yep, no expansions just yet, even though the base is in the middle. Could be protected together. Shop creeps for some dust on Scars' side. Blade Master will of course be an issue against heroes later. And feels like PaTo is buying some time. Now they join up again and Starbuck is the target.
Yeah, that's 3 archers going down, which is massive at this stage in the game for PaTo and Scars. I think diminishing those archer numbers will keep Starbuck fairly honest, meaning that he's having to produce more archers to ensure that he's safe from the Huntress pressure that PaTo has, and will be increasing from this moment out.
I like the position so far. No shenanigans, no cheese from KraV and Starbuck. Always nice to see that they can't play anything they want in this game mode. And soon we have all players on tier 2, and what happens then?
So, KraV has a very unusual habit in these games against hunts of playing gargoyles, which is obviously a not particularly established unit in 2v2, especially against an orc, but I wouldn't be surprised, and there it is, the first one is queued. This is one base Gargs is a KraV special, usually into an expansion to buy time and do chip damage, but it looks like PaTo and Scars are committing here with towers, Neo. There's 3 peons in the middle of the map.
Ooh, not bad, not bad. Here we go. With the Naga, classic. Keeper is here as well to support with Thorn's Aura. And do they have a read? Yeah, there is a counter AP already on Starbuck's side.
There is. The question I have here is, KraV at this point with the Lich not out is 33 supply, and it's a pretty weak 33 supply. Whether they can do enough to pressure them out of this situation without suffering game-ending damage, I think it's going to be really difficult.
Demon Hunter is also surrounded, had an invo potion for now. Here comes KraV, hopefully to the rescue, if you're a KraV and Starbuck fan, but the Lich is suffering, the DK is suffering. Horrible start into this fight for KraV. No second hero, DK already at 50%, and towers are coming.
They are, and this looks really good at this point for Scars and PaTo.
Not too bad. Naga though, being nuked. Ooh. Demon Hunter still alive. Might need a few crits. He's blocking that town portal. So another save on the DH, and KraV is throwing the coils. And Scars didn't expect this. Can he reach? So close. Unholy Aura. Oh.
Oh no.
Frostmourne hungers, but so far it's starving. Oh, it's so hungry.
Feels like a Benny Hill skit, Neo.
It does. But okay, they're both out of the fight, that's for sure. Towers are growing, APs are up. Mana potion on the Keeper who's facing the Demon Hunter. Coil is ready, but probably enough time bought.
Yeah, enough time, and I think the issue here is that the Archer line, along with the two Assassins, is untouched. A lot of damage went onto the DH, who used a lot of Moonwell Juice, and I think at least one potion in this fight. And Starbuck already has one glaive up.
He does. The towers are going down for Scars. The shop is up though. DK is back, but no mana. Shredder is going into the mix, and are they holding this?
Yeah, I feel like they are. Completely against all odds. I think this is a hold, Neo.
The Shredder does what the Shredder does best. Cutting trees and...
Cutting oversized trees.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. Size doesn't matter. We all... we all like to think so. Oh boy. That's a Keeper down. And I guess that is Scars and PaTo down.
And Starbuck felt confident enough to start tier 3 at the end of that.
Holy moly. Your new W3Champions 2-on-2 champions are... Starbuck and KraV, the favorites prevail without dropping a single map.
Crazy hold there. I think, at the start of that fight, KraV, as I said, was on 32 supply, including 2 gargoyles. And lost his Lich, right at the start of the fight. Insane hold from Starbuck and KraV, and having the wherewithal to put that AP up and buy the Shredder Neo, I think was a big part of that.
Yeah, definitely the closest game that we've seen in the series. And I actually thought that Starbuck and KraV were kind of on the back foot there. But I think this just shows the power of those assassins, like you mentioned. The assassin is kind of like an imbalanced unit in a way. It's like similar to a Troll Berserker, but it does the poison. It just does so much DPS. And if you leave those untouched, they'll just rack up so much damage over the course of the fight. Yeah, just amazing play from KraV and Starbuck overall. I wish we got to see some of the mid-game transitions, because I do believe that was probably the best map for PaTo and Scars. I looked at the vetoes right before the tournament, and I saw that PaTo I saw that Starbuck and KraV tended to veto a lot of the maps where you can expand. A lot of the maps where you can't do a lot of tricky things, where you generally have more straightforward fights, and you generally play just a more standard game. I think they really shine when the games get a little chaotic and their 2v2 experience come into play. So I think that was a great opportunity if they played a macro game on that map in order for Scars and for PaTo and Scars to actually take a game win, but instead they decided to go for the tower push, which I thought actually worked out reasonably well, but in the end they were not able to take it home.
Unfortunately so, and so another 2-on-2 season comes to an end. Well, I would have loved to have spent more time with you guys, but I have to let you go to have Leon step in and cast the one-on-one grand final, but I hope we can do this again next season, Dark, when you're eliminated first round again.
It'd be my pleasure, Neo, and I can't think of a better season to cast the finals for than having those 4 guys in it, all great people and some really interesting games. A shame it was short, but yeah, really enjoyed doing this, and always a pleasure, Monk.
So Dark, you are of course representing Phantom Aces here alongside our champions. Is there any social media that people should follow maybe?
Yeah, there is. On all socials, it's at Team Phantom Aces. We are about to launch a website, and you will see a bunch of us in Germany. So we're excited to meet everyone that we don't know and catch up with the familiar faces and enjoy a festival of Warcraft.
That's exactly what it's going to be. And of course, Phantom Aces will be participating in the game that Monk is working for. So the final plug of the tournament, Monk. Give it all.
I don't believe that for 1 second, Neo, because there's going to be a lot more plugging after the grand finals. But if you insist, as I always say in my professional career, of course, I am a professional Warcraft 3 commentator who lives and dies from the amazing salary that you give to me, Neo, from casting these Warcraft 3 finals. But in my spare time, I work on a little game known as Stormgate. We are Frost Giant Studios, or I work for Frost Giant Studios, and we are an ex-Blizzard team who worked on great hits such as StarCraft and a little game you might know as Warcraft 3. And we have actually left Blizzard. We started our own game studio, and we're working on Stormgate, the next Blizzard-style RTS. You can find out more about Stormgate at our website, playstormgate.com, where you can not only sign up for the newsletter, but also sign up for the beta. And in addition to that, if you click that little button in the middle of your screen right there, you can go to Steam to help wishlist our game. So, Neo, if you might click that button and see our Steam page, what you can see here is a kind of some previews of our game right now. Of course, we are in alpha right now. So it'll be a while before we get the game fully functioning, but I'm just really excited to see where we're at right now. If you want to support Stormgate, and you can do this for free, the low price of free, what you can do is navigate to the Steam page and click the wishlist button. By wishlisting, you bump us up in the Steam algorithm, so we're able to show off the game to even more and more players. So, Neo, I think that's my plug. And I think we're ready for those exciting one-on-one finals between two awesome Night Elf players, Kaho and Moon, who both, I hope, will be participating in Stormgate when it comes out as well.
Well, if you provide them with the beta keys, just as you will provide the entire Back to Warcraft community with beta keys, we can't wait. All right. Thank you guys for your time. I know it's a Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Could be family time, could be time with, I don't know, relatives or whatever. But you spend it with me and the community, and that is lovely. And my man Grinchiono is going on the job and gets the picks and bans from Moon and Kaho. And then we crown a new champion for season 15.